We don't live in Bridgerton, babes. Most of us don't, anyways. There isn't a symphony playing in the background while we all hold our breaths and bite our lips at the perfect moment, the camera moving back and forth at just the right time, building the perfect amount of erotic tension. It's us in our stained PJs and our floppy top knots debating whether we want to put in the effort or spend 30 minutes with Hans from our fantasy novel instead. Am I right? Welcome to the Sex After Kids podcast, a place for parents to come and learn together about the sometimes bumpy road back into the saddle of their sex life after adoption, childbirth, or joining a blended family. I am your host, Sophia Ashley, certified sex educator and sex coach, mother and stepmother, and your totally TMI guide to becoming BFFs with your body and initiating easy, connected, and confident, naked, sexy fun times. Here we are, one part science of sex, one part mindfulness magic, and one part straight up real talk to help you find the spark in your relationship and yourself after kids. I am so glad you are here. Hello, friends. We are hot off the press with another bedroom dispatch for ya. This one is short and sweet, but as a reminder, I share these because I want you to A, see the skills that I teach in action, and B, get a way more realistic version of what actual good sex in a real bedroom looks like so that you can ditch the movie versions that are not serving you. We don't live in Bridgerton, babes. Most of us don't, anyways. There isn't a symphony playing in the background while we all hold our breaths and bite our lips at the perfect moment, the camera moving back and forth at just the right time, building the perfect amount of erotic tension. It's us in our stained PJs and our floppy top knots debating whether we want to put in the effort or spend 30 minutes with Hans from our fantasy novel instead. Am I right? So, if you aren't familiar, I use my Naked Sexy Fun Times framework, or I'm calling it the Time Together framework, now to keep my sex life strong after kids. And it's got 4 steps. So, we make a plan, we build a bridge, we communicate, and we debrief, which is kind of the same as communicating, but it's a bit different. So let's walk through another dispatch from my very real bedroom as we go through these 4 phases. So first, I want to set the scene. It's a Tuesday morning. I'm meditating. I'm opening up my crown chakra. That's just the top of my head. And I feel this like bolt of energy from the top of my head down into my pelvis. And all the warm feelings wake up. And if you're new here, this is not typical for me, certainly not in this era in my life. In fact, I would say it has been ages since I have felt so much activity happening in my downstairs business. And it occurs to me while I'm experiencing this that I am likely ovulating. So my first thought is, damn, I wish my husband was on night shift so I could jump his bones right now. Also not a typical thought for me, but we're going with it. Second, I wonder if we actively suppress our libidos because they are inconvenient during parenthood. Like there is so little time to act on it that it's not useful for me to walk around feeling like this. Third thought, I should let Hubs know I might be down to play later tonight. I let it pass, though it's probably important to note I did engage in a little self-pleasure at lunch. My play was a little bit more elaborate and longer, and I had a really frustrating time getting to an O during my self-care session, which actually played a factor later on with hubby, which is why I bothered to mention it. Fast forward a little up to the evening. Hubby comes home. I'm mid-supper. Kids are screaming, but I still muster to look at him and say, I think I'm ovulating. And I don't even need to say more. He's like, okay, message received. Now, we have done step 1 in that moment, which is to make a plan. Now, step 1 can look like a very formal plan. In this case, it looked like hey, I could potentially be down to fuck you later tonight. So 10 p.m. rolls around, lunches are made, kitchen is clean, laundry is done. We collapse into bed, and hubby's looking at me like, so are we gonna maybe? And I have actually literally completely forgotten I even made an offer. So that just got awkward real fast. And we're laying next to each other in bed, and I'm trying to decide if I'm still into it. he's hopeful, but he also doesn't really have a ton of energy. And I'm lying there, I'm looking at the ceiling, and then Marvin Gaye starts playing in his phone, and I burst out laughing. And a joint giggle fest ensues. I'm actually loving, okay, like I wrote this down after it happened. This is several weeks ago now, and I had completely forgotten that this happened. And I'm like loving replaying this experience with you. So, we have this giggle fest, and we have now entered step 2, which is building the bridge. This is where I'm getting out of, oh my God, I just collapsed on the bed after making lunches and cleaning the house, to I'm relaxed, I'm present, I'm connected to you, and I'm open to being sexual. I forget what else kind of happened in that moment, but there was a lot of giggling. We just entered this giggle mode, and that led to some makeouts. And next thing you know, we are in the middle of things. And so step 3 is communication. So once we start playing, right, we're having fun. It started with me, but quite a bit of effort was kind of going into things. And I was just feeling like I wasn't going to get there today. And I would say, certainly in the past, I've been really bad for wordlessly, pulling him up, getting him inside me, and moving on. And instead, I vocalized and I just shared where we were at, said, hey, I think I'm having a hard time. Like, can we move on to something else? And I didn't really owe that night, but I still had a great time enjoying the sensations and the experiences that we did have. Not every night is a 5-star night, but we can still have naked, sexy fun that is connecting, right? We're naked, we're touching each other, oxytocin is happening, dopamine is happening. We're alone, we're giggling, we're laughing. We are holding space for hard feelings that are coming up, and we're having a good time. Okay. And we're communicating. I'm using my words. I'm not magically expecting him to know what to do. I'm not magically expecting him to read my discomfort. I'm sharing where I'm at and what I need. So we transition to cleaning up the mess afterwards, right? And we don't skip step 4, which is the debrief. And that means just taking a few minutes to notice what worked and what we could do next time. And this is key because we are learning and growing together. We are allowing our conversation to bring us closer, and we're getting curious about what works for us now, today, in this season, not relying on what worked for us 10 years ago or at the beginning of our relationship or before kid number 2 entered the world, And that's how we roll. I could have not said anything, I could have opted to not tell him that I thought I was ovulating and just waited to see where I was at 10 p.m. And I probably would have said nothing, and nothing would have happened because I had completely even forgotten about my experience in the morning. So there would have been another night without really a lot of touching or cuddling or connection, really. I could have given him the nod and then at 10 o'clock said I was tired, and he would have totally respected that. And we could have postponed things, but another night would have passed without us having sex. And it had been a little while at that point. I could have forced myself or pushed myself to a yes that didn't feel true and likely would have ended up in me low or high grade kind of resenting the whole situation. Or just when we do that, when we force ourselves through, like usually we feel disconnected and distant at the end of the night. I mean, the proverb, like all of us, we having duty sex, forcing ourselves into sex does not creates the opposite of the connection that we are looking for, right? What I did, which is crucial, is I stayed in my maybe. He tried a strategy to get us present, connected, and relaxed with no pressure attached, right? So his attempt was to play Marvin Gaye. I don't know if he was trying to get a laugh out of me or just set the mood, but it worked. It got me laughing with him. It got us connected. It got me landed in the moment. And that created the conditions for my yes to turn, or sorry, my maybe to turn into a yes. It worked out for us that night. But it mostly worked because I knew that when he put the Marvin Gaye on, it wasn't a high pressure, you'd better, or I'd really like you to. It was a, hey, maybe we could. The next day, I'll just note my husband commented that I am noticeably more touchy and snuggly with him in general when we have a naked fun time, even if I don't owe, right? So the after effects of us having a naked fun time, even if there wasn't an orgasm, is that we are more affectionate with each other in the days afterwards, which is a good thing for our relationship and a good thing for us to role model to our kids. And our relationship is more playful and fun today because we use these tools and we use this framework to get us from mom and dad mode to sexy, playful lovers mode. That's it today. It's short and sweet. What I want you to know is you can do this too. You really can. And following these 4 steps can become this automatic, this effortless, and I am here to help you do that. If you think you're ready for your naked fun comeback, definitely make sure to just book a reset roadmap call with me. They're totally free. Let's talk about those 4 steps. Let's talk about how you can implement in their own life, and let's get you back into naked, sexy fun. I will catch you next week. This is the part where we do the end bit, right? My friends, let's take a mindfulness minute here. Take a deep breath in. Open that mouth and let out a big, deep, full body sigh. Voila. Your nervous system thanks you. Thank you so much for being here today. I hope that your head and your heart have something new to consider, something new to talk about, and something new to try. No husbands were harmed in the making of this podcast, and a big thank you to my husband for his help and original music composition. Love you, babe. This podcast was recorded on the traditional territories of the Kwanlin First Nation and Tonquachan Council in Whitehorse, Yukon. We acknowledge and are grateful to the original stewards of this land where we get to play, live, and raise our children. You can catch me on the Instagram at the Happy V Project for tips, tools, and anecdotes. And you can also join the weekly-ish newsletter for dispatches from my bedroom and my brain. Also, head to thehappyvaginaproject.com to learn more about how you can work with me. Catch you next time.